because I'm not there, because I'm not motivated enough, because I'm sitting here sulking and my self-pity in my bed. So, you can't live in the past. You should understand what happens in the past, or what happened in the past was wrong, and understand why it was wrong. But you can't sit here and blame other people for what happened in the past. The people that were enslaved, most of them have died or are dying. You can't sit here and say, "Oh, my ancestors were slaves." You weren't a slave. That's not your burden to bear. That's not your problem to deal with. It sucks. And quite frankly, I apologize on the behalf of every American out there that decided that slavery was right, because it is wrong. But you can't sit here and, my ancestors were slaves. Like, that's not okay. That's not going to rid this country of racism. Racism still exists because we're still talking about how racist we were in the past. The people need to change themselves. You can't appoint a leader to lead people out of racism, out of the depression, if people aren't willing to change their ways. It starts with each and every one of our hearts. We have to make the decision to stop being racist. We have to make the decision to quit spending money fruitlessly and just throwing it at whatever the next thing Apple creates or the next thing Microsoft creates. That's why your phone is out of date the year after you buy it. That's why the video game you just bought is out of date the next year. Like Call of Duty. Call of Duty drops a game every November. And now the game that you just spent $60 on, if you just bought just the game, if you bought the season pass, you just spent $90 on it. Any other extra weapon skins or anything, all of this money that you just spent, you could spend up to $200 on one video game and get the basic copy of the video game. Is now out of date 365 days after. Why? The reason why they keep putting these games out every year is because people keep buying it. Millions of people keep buying the updated game. Like, how do you expect yourself to make some money for yourself when you're dropping $200 every year on a new game? By the end of the year, you could have $200 more to spend on the love of your life, on your children, on your mother or your father, or maybe you already have enough money to spend enough on the rest of them, and maybe you have $200 for yourself. We can't expect our country to quit spending money carelessly if we don't stop spending money carelessly. How can I expect Donald Trump to lower the national deficit if I can't lower my own debt? On the same plan, or on the same concept, how can we expect anything to get accomplished by just raising taxes? You're still spending money carelessly, whether it's $20 or $250,000. If you're still spending money carelessly, what's the difference? Other than one has more zeros behind it than the other. If you want to come out of debt, if you want to quit spending money carelessly, then you have to stop spending money carelessly, regardless as to how much money you make. You just have to stop spending it on things that you don't need. If you need water, you don't need a phone. That's why Obamacare does not work. You don't need health insurance. What you need is to just take care of yourself. Now, understand accidents happen. You know, you fall, break an arm. Somebody else isn't paying attention and runs into you, and it hurts your back. Things happen, and healthcare comes in handy. It lowers the bill, but the bill wouldn't be that high if they weren't having to spend money on all this other stuff to take care of the unnecessary items, the unnecessary thing. You know, food stamps. You don't need Red Bull. You don't need lobster. You don't need soda. What you need is water. What you need is your basic food groups. Food stamps is to help families provide a meal for their family. Not, oh, I'm really tired from sitting on the couch all day. I'm gonna, and I don't want you to take that the wrong way. I don't want you to think I think that every person on food stamps is just lazy. But you can't sit here and tell me that every person on food stamps is out there looking for a job. When I just spent 2 hours the other day looking online for a part-time job. I was looking for a part-time job online and couldn't find one. You know what I found instead? Full-time jobs that are paying 36 hours or $36 an hour. Like, how can you sit here and tell me you can't find a job? No, you're too lazy to get off your butt and go find one. When majority of you have internet, have a TV. Why are you on food stamps if you have all of these things? Why is the government putting people on these food stamps when they're sitting here milking off of the system? Oh, I have a disability. Okay, I know somebody that has cerebral palsy. Probably just butchered that word. Don't judge me. Just don't judge me, alright? But, no, I know somebody that has a disability that his entire right side of his body is virtually paralyzed. And like I said, virtually. So he can still walk, he can still move it, he just can't really feel a whole lot. But it prevented the growth of the right side of his body to grow properly. And he just had to have surgery about 6 months ago, where the doctors literally had to break his jaw by putting braces on him for a month and a half that were pulling his jaw forward to the point, but when he got to the doctors, all they had to do was like just move it a little bit and it broke. And then wire his mouth shut because his esophagus didn't grow properly, so he will stop breathing in the middle of his sleep because his throat will just close up, at which point he could suffocate and die in his sleep. So they did this whole process and everything. This dude that has a disability made something of himself. He's out at his own law firm making it in this world. He drives a Corvette that he built himself, not physically with his own hands, but he sat there and he's like, I want this package, this package, this package, I want it to do this, I want it to do this, and he built this Corvette himself. A basic Corvette is well over 50 grand. And you mean to tell me he just added all these packages to it and whatnot, and he's sitting here disabled and not living off of the government? Whoa, that's crazy, you know? Like I said before, each and every one of us have our own gift. His gift is he just can't stop talking, and he can argue with anybody. You know, I love the guy. He's awesome. I love him to death. And he's actually a customer of mine, but that's beside the point. He's really good at defending his clients. Whether it's they killed somebody by accident, or were a victim of hit and run, whatever. I don't know what kind of specifics cases and whatnot that he takes, but he genuinely tries to help people, and And he's good at what he does. He found his talent and uses it. And my talent just may very well be I'm good at talking to myself. I don't know. But you know, this may be what my talent is, and you know, if this succeeds, then great. You know, I'm fulfilling my purpose. You know, but if it doesn't, then on to whatever's next. You know, I've prayed about it. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and for some reason tonight it was just do or die, I guess. You know. Obviously I haven't died because I'm parked outside my house, but you know, I could go on and on all night. I can go on until my battery dies. Like, it's just, I don't know what I have planned for this channel, aside from just speaking about whatever comes to my heart. But the more involved people get with me, the more I'm gonna have to talk about. You know, all I'm doing is sharing my opinion. And if I don't know anything about a particular subject, I promise you that word starts with a P and ends with an E. That word is what? Promise, 7 letters long. I promise you, if there's a topic that you want me to talk about or share my opinion on, I will form that opinion based off of a fact, and more than likely, I will look those facts up right before I make the video. It's called Google, people. There are billions of people that use it every day, every hour, and you mean to tell me that not everybody can just do a little research, take 30 seconds out of their day to research something and be like, oh, yeah, that's a little messed up. You know, it's just, I don't understand some of the stupidity that's in this world, some of the things that are done and said. It's just, it kills me. Like this, cash me outside though. How about that? You know, like, how? That's the mother's fault. You know, no ifs, ands, or buts. That is the mother's fault. You know, she never grew up. She didn't grow up with her dad. There wasn't anybody there to discipline her. No, the mother should have disciplined her. And you're gonna sit there and tell me that you're just gonna sit in the audience and shake your head like, can you believe she's saying that? No, I can't believe she's saying that. I also can't believe you let that little girl talk to you. Honestly, if that was my child and she bowed up on me like that, I would have choke slammed her through the floor right there in front of Dr. Phil and diagnosed that, Dr. Phil. Like, are you kidding me? And no, that's not abusive. If you think you're man enough or you're an adult to the point where you're gonna, she is 13 years old. Backhand that little girl and tell her, don't ever talk to me like that. I am your parent. I brought you into this world. You're going to respect me. And if you're going to get in my face, talk about how cash me outside though. Like, no, I'm not going to cash you outside, because if we go outside, it's because I'm dragging you by your ponytail to the car where I'm going to take you home and beat your, well, let me tell you, I can get ratchet right now. But, you know, it's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how do you let your child get that out of control? And it's the same thing with counting, you know? Don't let me get to 3, like, don't let me start counting, because if I start counting, it's going to be how many seconds it takes for me to bend you over and spank you. Oh, you think I'm not going to because we're in the middle of the mall? I will pull your pants down, let everybody see your white tail as I'm making it red. Try me. Really don't care. You know, the reason why your 13 chromosomes came from me, the reason why you're 50% me and 50% your mother, is because I wanted a child in the first place. So I did the process that it takes to have a child, and out you came. So you're not going to sit here and tell me, no, you're not going to sit here and scream bloody murder because I'm not giving you something you want. I'm not giving you something that you want because I don't think you need to have it. that's a good enough reason, so drop it. You know, I can't fathom how a parent can let their child be like that. It doesn't matter where you grow up, doesn't matter what you're exposed to. Parents, quit being lazy. Quit letting your child say and do whatever they want to do, and teach them right from wrong. That is your job. That is your purpose. If you're going to have a child, you need to do it. You need to do everything it takes to be a parent, to raise somebody that's going to benefit this world and not be the part of the nuisance that just are a nuisance. Like, I don't understand. Like, I just can't explain it other than just do your job. It's not that difficult. But, you know, that is what it is. You know, if you don't know how to teach them right from wrong, you'll figure it out. Do whatever it takes. But if you're sitting here counting 1, 2, 3, and they throw their little temper tantrum until you get to 2.5, and then they stop before you get to 3, and it's still continuing to happen, maybe it's not working, and maybe you need to go to more extreme measures, like stop before I come over there and beat your tail. And if they push the boundary again, smack them one good time. It's a respect factor. They don't respect you if they're going to continue doing it after you just got done telling them not to do it. It's as simple as that. It's not complicated whatsoever. And, you know, oh, do you have a kid? How can you sit there and say that? If you don't need to have a child. I don't need to experience what you're experiencing in order to know what I'm talking about, in order to know what to do. A wise man once told me, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Maybe you should listen twice as much as you talk. The only problem with that statement is he left out the fact that you have 2 eyeballs, and maybe you should observe just as much as you listen and not talk at all. You know, I spent a majority of my life not talking, but not voicing my opinion, because I don't spend all my life on social media. I don't spend all my life watching the media, because the media lies. You want to learn something? Get on Google, look it up yourself, and see if match up what you're finding with the media. And I'm not talking about like Google something and then the first site that pops up is CNN and that's the newscast that you were just watching. Obviously it's going to be the same. It's the same source. But look up other sources. Don't rely on a source that can be altered by other people, because people are ignorant. Form your opinion off of facts. Don't sit here and form your opinion on some black kid getting thrown on the ground by some white officer, and that's all you see is the officer throwing a kid on the ground. Don't form your opinion off of that matter. Form your opinion off of the first minute and a half where that kid was bad-mouthing him, spitting on him, doing anything and everything that was just rude to the officer, and then the officer just got fed up with it and just threw him on the ground. That's not racism. That's that kid being ignorant and showing his butt and just being rude. You know, as a person, you only have so much patience. You can't expect every person to go out here and just sit there and like let somebody spit in their face and not retaliate. Because I know each and every one of you, if somebody came up to you and just spit in your mouth, you'd have some words to say, or you'd have some actions. A lot of you would just come out and cold cock them, and some of you would probably just get really pissed and just say something and then walk away. But the fact of the matter is, you would lose your patience over it. So you can't just sit there and expect some police officer to just let some punk do whatever they want to do just because he's black. No. It doesn't matter whether you're black or white or Asian. It doesn't matter. If you're going to be rude, expect somebody to be rude back. If you're going to show your butt, expect somebody to not be okay with it, because generally it's not okay. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You just can't, make an opinion on something without knowing all the facts. without knowing for sure that your opinion is right. Because then you go from an opinion to factual. And we need a lot more facts in this world and not opinions. Just because you think somebody should be okay with something doesn't mean it is okay. So, you know, I'm going to end that video right there. Because quite frankly, I have to pee. It's been a while since I peed last. So, you know, that's that. But, just being honest with y'all, I don't have anything to hide. I really don't care. I'm going to say what I have to say. Because regardless as to what comes out of my mouth, if this is meant to take off, it's going to take off. And I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not getting paid for this now, so why? You know, like, I know it has to start somewhere, and it could potentially lead to me getting paid. But honestly, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it so that this may change one person's life. I don't care if it changes 1 or 14 billion. I really don't care, so long as it helps somebody. So long as it motivates or inspires somebody. That's why I'm going to keep doing this. You know, I'm just going to do it for a little while. You know, if people start becoming responsive to the videos and whatnot, then, you know, we'll make it a regular thing. But for now, we at where we at though. But yeah, homeboy gotta go to pee. So I'll catch y'all next video, I guess. You know, just consider all the facts. Don't form your opinion based off of what you feel or how you feel something should be. Do it because it's what's right. If it's not right, then don't do it at all. There's no gray area. Peace.